Bună dimineața! Vă mulțumim că ați acceptat invitația Vienna Insurance Group de a participa la o nouă întâlnire cu cei mai importanți jurnaliști care acoperă domeniul asigurărilor din România. Ne cerem scuze pentru întârzirea clasică a conferințelor de presă, dar așa se întâmplă când traficul este așa cum este în București. Îi vom avea astăzi ca oaspeți pe domnul Hans Raumhoff, care este membru al Consiliului Director al Wiener Städtische, care este principalul acționar al Vienna Insurance Group, și domnul Roland Groll, membru al Consiliului Director al Vienna Insurance Group. Tot alături de noi sunt cei trei directori generali ai companiilor pe care Vienna Insurance Group le deține în România. Îl avem pe domnul Sorin Mititelu, care este CEO al BCR Asigurări de Viață. Îl avem pe domnul Mihai Tecău, care este CEO al OmniAsig, și pe domnul Juraj Lelcheș, care este CEO al Asirom. Vom începe cu o prezentare a domnilor Raumhoff și Groll despre Vienna Insurance Group, despre planurile, despre ceea ce a însemnat România pentru Vienna Insurance Group, despre planurile de viitor, despre o opinie a dânșilor despre ceea ce se întâmplă în piața asigurărilor din România, după care va urma o sesiune de întrebări și răspunsuri. Rugămintea este ca din motive de competitivitate să adresați întrebările, în special Vienna Insurance Group, iar dacă sunt întrebări foarte specifice adresate companiilor, să le puneți celor trei directori generali. După întâlnire, vă vor sta la dispoziție în măsura în care doresc să o facă. Vă mulțumesc. Mr. Raumhoff, Mr. Groll.
Bună ziua, good morning and a warm welcome. For me it's the first time and it's a pleasure for me to speak to a very specific selection of journalists according VIG strategy in CE, but of course especially in Romania. Thanks for joining us, thanks for your interest, and as a market leader in Romania with three companies, OmniAsig, Asirom and BGR Life, I think there could come up some questions from you. We live in very interesting times, but first of all I want to introduce the overall strategy and what's VIG. We are present in 25 countries, more than 50 companies, and we have in the meantime a volume, a turnover of more than 9 billion euro. We are listed on the top segment in the Austrian Stock Exchange with the best rating in Austria with A+ and a stable outlook, and roughly 23,000 employees. That's VIG in a nutshell. If you look to the let's say shorter history, because we are nearly 200 years old, and the fall of the Iron Curtain was something like a historical chance for us. Unfortunately, Austria is a rather small country. We have only 8 million inhabitants. So at that time we were number one in Austria, but we were like a big fish in a small pond. And that was a historical chance for us to go east. That's the reason why we were the first Western insurance company. We founded at that time the first private insurance company in that region, at that time in Czechoslovakia. And if you see, we are, in the meantime, it's a kind of celebration, 15 years in Romania. And in the meantime, Romania is, let's call it a core market among the top 5 within VIG, simply because it's very interesting for us. You have nearly 20 million inhabitants, and with these steps you see on the picture behind, it was possible to increase our client base from 8 million in Austria to roughly 200 million in Central and Eastern Europe, which is key for us. What are our key points of our strategy? I do not want to mention each and everything, but I think what makes us unique is our multi-brand strategy. And there are several reasons why we have this multi-brand strategy. First of all, if we acquire a company, we normally did not and do not change the name. Simply why to destroy values? If we look at Romania, Azer, Romania, SIG are very well known, and the brands have simply a value. Why don't name them Wiener Städtische, which nobody understands here in Romania, or even if we name it in English, Vienna Insurance Group. For us, it's simply better to keep the local brands because they are strong. And as a kind of surname, we add Vienna Insurance Group simply as a sign that all companies are part of an European group, which is in the meantime rather strong. What's also important is if you have, for example, in Romania, 3 companies in one market, you have simply a higher distribution power. If you look at VIG strategy overall, that's the main reason why it was possible for VIG to get by far the #1 in the region. That's not only true for Romania, that's true for all our core markets. Once again, if we look at the Romanian situation, I have mentioned the 3 companies. So if it's possible in the Romanian market, and hopefully it should be, the only restriction is we have to make profits. And if this is possible, there is no intention here to change something in the future. The second very important strategic cornerstone is local entrepreneurship. We like entrepreneurs and not administrators. That's very important for the success of VIG Group overall. And that means that we do not think in Vienna we know better how to sell insurance business or insurance contracts in Romania. Insurance business is local business. And that's the reason why we think that there is a local responsibility which is by far higher in comparison to other competitors. And of course there is a kind of framework. What we are looking for is, if you look at the big risks, that's reinsurance and asset management. There we have group guidelines and rules. But if we look at sales, human resources and so on, that's a local responsibility. And that's also one keystone, one milestone, why it was possible for us to be rather successful the last, in the meantime, 20 years. If you look on a very, very high level on the results, then we make premium 50-50, 50 Austria, 50 CE. Austria does also include Germany and Liechtenstein, where we have small operations. And what we are very, very happy and proud about is if you look at the share of profit, CE in the meantime is even more important than Austria. We do not split home market and CE market. For us, our CE markets are all home markets. Some parts out of historical reasons and simply because we are, as in Romania, in the meantime, more than 15 years, in some other parts, more than 20 years in the market, and we do not feel as foreigner in the meantime. That's in a nutshell VIG, the key figures and the key strategic milestones which differs us from others. And the next part, status quo and opportunities for Romanian markets, I want to hand over to my colleague Hans Raumauf. Hans, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Also from my side, Bonjour. The Next slide we are not showing because of the ranking of our VIG group in Europe. It should demonstrate, you see it, we have a lot of market shares and place number one in the market. This is to show that, to remember that in each and every country except Austria, we started with zero. And now we have a market share all over the CE region from about 18% and are in some countries number one, two, and so on, you see it. So to mention this, we started with zero, and therefore we think we have a lot of experience in developing market, and also we had learned to have patience in the market, especially if it is a liberalist market. And MTPL is one of the, I think, most important issues also in this country. So we are not only old, nearly 200 years, and we would like to stay another 200 years in the market, at least in Europe. But we know the development and we know the problems, and we discussed it before, all ups and downs. So we also see the Romanian market as a market which is in a process and which is now finding a balance between all groups of interests, all economic, political, social issues you have in the country. That's why I showed you. You know the figures of your country. I think I need not repeat them. You have the best growth in GDP in the first half year of this of 2016 of all countries in the European Union. You can be very proud of this. And if you will try to forecast the future, you see these different figures of premiums per capita. That means to compare it with Austria. In Austria, one person is paying about 2,000 euros on insurance premium yearly. You see the countries some of the countries in CE, and you see Romania now has reached the level of about 100 euros a year. So if you keep in mind that you have a very, very positive growth in your GDP and in the economy of the country, in some years, don't ask me when, but in some years or maybe in some decades, you will reach the normal European level. That means that maybe you will have the level of, let's say, Austria, because it's a little bit less than the European Union average. You will have 20 times the premium of today. So that's the hope we have, to take part in this development, and if we make it well, then we can do this. You have only to take into consideration that a big part of this premium is health and life business. And health and life business is depending from the social system in the country. So if you have a very developed social system, that means pension systems, then you have less private life premiums. And if you have a very developed health and social system, the private health insurance is not so developed. So you have to take into account this. And this is always our argument, that Austria is not the same level like European Union, because we have a very developed we think so, a very developed social system. Now it's, maybe you know, in discussion. These figures, you know, it is only to show it that you can be proud of this. It's the best development in the first half year of this year in the EU region, and this will go on, and the forecasts you know and we know are quite positive. So I think we are in the line in this development for the future to reach a higher level. Also, the unemployment rate is very very, very low. It is better than in Austria, by the way. And also the wages are increasing. It's the average. Maybe it is not the correct transfer between poor and rich people, but the average is increasing. VIG, Romania, may I give you the floor back?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks. So if you look at the overall picture in Romania, it's extremely positive, especially if you compare it with Austria, with other core markets within VIG. Such a huge GDP growth, it's really impressive. And in addition, the public debt situation in Romania, less than 50%. There are not many European countries which have such favorable environment. If we look at VIG in Romania, the picture is a little bit different. What we see is, if we look at the profitability of our group within the last 5-6 years, we start this picture with 2010. I have to mention that there is a very specific one-off, this profit of 30 million, because we sold at that time an insurance company. And you see that we have faced rather hard times for us, 2011 till 2013, and then 2014 ongoing. We start with a profit, not high, not enough, but the direction is quite okay, and we are rather stable within the last years. If you look at some KPIs, return on equity, return on premium, we are, I do not want far away, but we have to do our homeworks and improve our business models to reach the targets our investors have. On the next slide, you see the combined ratio, what means the technical income, what we pay out for claims and for costs in comparison to the premiums we earn. And you see that since 2010, there is no year where we are able to earn money out of the insurance business. Nevertheless, it's our strategic goal to have a combined ratio below 100. On VIG level overall, our goal is to have a combined ratio roughly 95%, plus minus, it depends what are the market conditions. So there we have simply further to work on. What you also see here is within the last 10 years, mainly driven out of the growth and the negative combined ratio, we increased our capital of roughly 300 million euro, which is a lot. If I'm informed right, there are some rumors in the Romanian public that the foreign insurer take the money from Romania. I can tell you for VIG, that's simply not true, and therefore it's not fair. In total, we invested a lot in the market, and that is only the capital increase, nothing else. And till now, we simply were not able, out of different reasons, to show adequate profitability, which is key for us. We're a listed company, and we need markets where we have a fair chance to make profits. Otherwise, it's even for us hard to discuss with our investors, with our shareholders, and this discussion happens, I do not want to say daily, but monthly, and they ask us what's the situation in Romania. So generally, if you look at the economic environment, super. If we look at the insurance market, we have to work further to reach our goals. Nevertheless, and I think that's important to mention, we are not a hedge fund. We are strategic investors. We came to stay, so there is no intention to step out. What we simply urgently need are conditions, and we have to work on our side. And we hope also that the conditions on the mid and long-term perspective will get better, that we are able to make profit with our Romanian insurance companies. That's of course also very important for us. And what you see behind me is combined ratio overall. So if you look at MTPL, the combined ratio within the last years was roughly 130%. So far above any chance to be profitable. And I also hear some rumors that there are plans that it should be the level of MTPL premium 2015 minus whatever, 20%, 30%, whatever. The market has a combined ratio 2015 of 130%. And I think it's also for Romania important to have a health insurance sector. We simply need the chance to be part of this healthy sector. And I simply and kindly ask you to support us. The next page shows, but you know this quite well, our development in the first half year. Very impressive growth rates, nearly 40%, driven by all three companies, mainly by Azeron, not only MTPL business, but of course MTPL is a major part. And you see here the split between our three companies. I think nothing to add, as you are, I think, well informed what happens on the Romanian insurance market. That's some words and some key figures according VIG in Romania. And the next, which is perhaps even more important, is the outlook, the current market situation in Romania. And once again, I hand over to Hans. Hans, please.
Thank you. You see all complicated issues I have to speak about, because the first is unstable situation of ERCA, of MTPL. I think maybe I should explain a little bit in detail. In all countries, they are in the process of the development. MTPL premium or motor premium has a very big part of the total premium income of the insurance industry. So you know the figures of Romania, the part of MTPL motor business is about 60% plus minus from the total premium income. To give you a comparison, in Austria it's less than 40%. Because we have of course, more premium in life insurance, health insurance, and also non-motor business, property business. And this is not yet developed in the same structure like in other countries. So the main income of not only insurance companies, also of agents or brokers, is motor business. That's absolutely clear. So if you have a small change or a big change in motor business, it will have a big influence to the general situation. This will become less and less and less when other lines of business like property, household, private accidents, personal accident, and so on will grow up. This will need some time. That's the first thing. The second one is that after liberalization of MTPL, and this is in all countries we had in the past, the first years are always, with ups and downs. So you have very left, very right, it is increasing, it was decreasing, so it needs some time that this situation will come in a balanced situation, and we are just in this progress here. And the third one is, of course, some political influence, especially, and this was very encouraged from us to have this press conference today when we did not know it before that today and tomorrow in the parliament will be a discussion about the new draft, but why not? If this is a political discussion, then it is, of course, not only founded with economical information, it has some political influence. We know this, we can live with this, and we know it also from other situations. It will become normal after some time. So that's what we are hoping, and this is the instability now, that the legislation will also take into consideration some economic arguments from the industry, but not only this, it is also a question of some other problems surrounding this. It's not only a question of premium. This is let's say, the top of the ice mountain in the sea. It's the general situation. You have, as I'm informed, about 25% uninsured cars in the country. This is one problem, of course, for the industry, for the insurance industry, because 25% of the total volume of premium is missing. It's also a social problem. What is when they caused an accident, when all these problems, I think I need not explain it to you. This is one. You have all other problems in the street conditions. All these things must not be forgotten, because this has a big influence to the general risk situation, and the risk situation is a kind of picture of the premium, because the premium, if you will calculate it in an economic way, it's very easy. You have one mark that is called the claims frequency. If you have 100 insured cars, a certain percentage, in Romania it's about, I think, 8%, something like this, will have an accident. So you can calculate it. It is the number of accidents, and then you have a second figure, that's the average claim. This is also not so complicated to calculate for material damages. This is about 6,000 or 7,000 RON for material damage. It is not so easy to calculate bodily damages, because this depends on the kind of this damage and on the courts what are they deciding. But this is a very easy calculation, and if you have this, then you can say that, as I read, 400 RON was one suggestion of one part of the country to fix the private car premium with about 400 RON. You cannot survive with this. That's not possible. So we know that economic information is the one side and political interests are the other side. But if there will be, and I'm quite optimistic, that if there will be a very clear and objective discussion, and we could put all these arguments in the discussion, and they could be accepted for some extent, not 100%, we know, but for some extent it could be the possibility to live with, for all parts, brokers, insurance companies, the public, consumers, clients, drivers. So this was possible in each and every country up to now. Why not also in Romania? So this is maybe the hopeful, unstable situation now. We have to live with this. Maybe we have to live with this 6 months of fixed premium. Okay, we will survive this. But if the future will become in a very clear and fair way, then we will also survive this 6 months in MTPL premium. When I read here local authorities, ACF, my impression and our impression is they know the situation. They are experts in insurance problems, so they are not blind, but they are trying to how to say, to find a compromise between all different interests. That's also their duty. And if they will have enough space for their regulations, space coming from the legal regulation, from the laws, then I think we could find a way. And it is always a problem to find a compromise, but if you will, you can. Also the American president said this, we can. The further development we see in Romania, besides this MTPL problem, positive, we see the development in non-motor business, that means property in the same extension when property is built by private persons. They have new premises, they have houses and some SME, small middle enterprises. This will also promote the insurance business. It's necessary for the development of economy to be insured, and this we see, and this will be also one of the main issues for our companies to have a very strong part in this non-motor business for the future. Altogether, we trust in Europe, we trust in CEE, we trust in Romania, we trust in our three companies and in the managers and colleagues of the three companies, and of course we also trust in us, ourselves, and as Roland said, we also trust in the press of Romania. Thank you. So this was the economic part. Not to forget, we also have some things we should not bring it too long. Some social activities of our companies here. You have some examples here what the companies here on the local market are doing. You know these activities better than us. We have, of course, the reports from our companies. For a long time, OmniaSig is engaged in very many of these activities. If you do not know them, the colleagues here can give you all details what this is done. Also, Bechere is very active in this in spending computers and IT things to young people, to pupils, and to all. And Asarom is also, since last year, when Mr. Lelkesh take over the responsibility, very active in these social activities. Svanta Anna is mentioned here. There are some others. He can mention it to you if you are interested. So this is one of the social responsibilities we feel. We do it in all our companies, nearly all our companies, and we are investing a lot of time. The colleagues can use one day for the social activity, and this day is paid by us, by our companies. So they need not use their holidays. They can use one working day paid by us, and they are doing also in Austria. Austria was starting, and then all other countries and companies are following it. So it's only to mention that we are not only hard businessmen, we have also some feeling for social responsibilities in these countries. So this was, you see, thank you for your attention.
Întrebări.
First question. It's about which will be the result of freezing the RCA tariffs in Romania for your business for 6 months. Do you calculate this effect in terms of premiums and in terms of profits also?
The problem we have is that there are a lot of drafts and a lot of rumors, but we do not have the fixed regulation and the fixed price. What I have mentioned before, and that's one rumor, there are a lot of others. But for example, if we look at the level 2015, MTPL only, where we had in MTPL a combined ratio of 130%. That means we make 30% loss of our MTPL business. And if we reduce this premium level once again with 30%, the loss will be even higher. All others equal. And I do not see major changes that frequency is better, average claim is significantly better. So in a very rough estimation, if these rumors comes to reality or will come to reality, that's the big picture we are faced now.
Another question: do you have separate strategy for Omnia Sig and Asirom on the RCA market, on the mandatory car insurance? Because we saw that Omnia Sig on the RCA market actually decreased very rapidly in the first half of the year, and Asirom is the leader of the market. Do you have a strategy by, for example, to that Omnia Sig do not continue on this market? Thank you.
No, Omniasic will continue on the market. Thanks for the question. If there's also rumor, it's simply not true. I think what we see here in Romania is a very specific part of our multi-brand strategy. Obviously, and you're right, the strategy of Omniasic is different to the strategy of Azirom. And if you look at the major issues, Omniasic is, and that's not since months, that's since years, is traditionally very strong in commercial business, is traditionally very strong in leasing business, means motor hull business. And that's the reason, and that's not new, that's true for the last years, that the MTPL share in Omniasic is significantly lower than in Azirom, for example. If we look at Azirom, in Azirom, MTPL is by far more important. You have seen our combined ratios within the last years. So I do not want to say it was our hope, but we thought that with the premium level of this year's, we could have, that's not for sure, but we could have a fair chance to make profit out of MTPL, especially if you consider that Azirom has not only a strong increase in MTPL, but also in non-motor business. So if you took all together, it's too early to say, but on the levels we see now, it could be possible to make profit out of this business. And that's the reason why we have a different strategy. Azirom is a well-known brand name, so there is also a kind of geographical diversification. So Azirom is well known on the countryside, Omniasic is more known in Bucharest, so that are different strategic opportunities we have. And I think that's important. If each and every VIG company in Romania has for 100% the same strategy, it does not make sense. So there has to be different approaches.
My name is Mihai Crăcea from Exprim. I would like to ask you if you have ever taken into consideration exiting the MTPL market. You said that for 6 months with fixed tariffs you will probably survive. But what has to happen, or under which circumstances you would exit the MTPL market in Romania?
Generally, it's too early to give a strict answer. But what we need, and that we need for 100%, is on a mid and long-term perspective, we have to see a fair chance to make profits out of this business, which was not possible within the last 5-6 years. And that's simply key for us. And if we do not have a fair chance to make profit out of the by far most important insurance business in Romania, it's also not easy for us as representatives of the management of VIG to tell our investors why we are in Romania. Nevertheless, we will do anything that we find solutions and business models that we are able to stay in Romania for the next 50 to 100 years. So there is no plan at all to exit. Nevertheless, some circumstances, the environment in the market is not the best for our goal to be profitable, but we fight for it.
Thank you. I was referring mainly to the MTPL business line, not the VIG activity in Romania.
Yeah.
So,
Man, generally, if you look at the insurance market in Romania, by far the most important part is MTPL. And if we look at, for example, the income of our own sales network or of the brokers, it's not so easy to find models without MTPL that they are able to live. So if I try to see the full picture, of course there is a strategic possibility, you are right, in theory, perhaps also in practice, but that we do not plan at all, to exit MTPL and only to do non-MTPL business in the future. But I do not think that this is healthy for the Romanian insurance market, because if we step out, who will remain?
there have been talks about establishing a state-owned insurer to enter this line of business. What's your opinion on that?
We do not fear any competition. If it's a state-owned or a private insurer, we like competition. It should be fair. I think we discuss now simple mathematics. And the major difference of the insurance business model is that we receive first the money. We have to save it for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And that's the period where we have to pay out the claims. And that's a business of trust. And the major issue is, do you have enough discipline, what was obviously not true for all market participants in the past, to save this money, to build up reserves so that you are able in 4, 5, 6 years to pay out the claims. That's key. And these simple mathematics are true for private insurers. Nevertheless, if they are owned from an Austrian insurance group, from a German insurance group, from Romanians, from the state, mathematics are the same and the business model is the same. And if the state company is able to make this business with significantly lower costs, that's good for us, because then we have the pressure to be even more cost efficient than they are. But that will be not so easy.
And it would be the first state-owned company which has a very good cost structure. So up to now it was not. But to add one thing, the problem in this country now seems to be, if all these rules will come, that first you are forced to accept every business, every car. You are not possible to say, no, I will not have this risk. You have to accept it, the first one. And the second one is that if this will come, like it is the draft, to a fixed price coming from outside. So if you are now pressing McDonald's to sell a hamburger with a half run, yeah, they have to sell it to every client and only with half run. Then how can they make, I do not know the calculation of McDonald's, but I think they could not have a good result after 1 year. And the same situation is here. If we could be free in the acceptance of risks, then we had the possibility to say, okay, this is a better risk, this is a not so good risk, and we know the categories of risk from all countries in Europe, they are quite the same. So we could choose. If we had to accept every risk, but we could be free in the calculation of premium, it would also be okay. But to bound here premium up to maximum, maybe then it's okay, now it will be a maximum. And on the other side, you have to accept it. This is the double mill we had, the twin mill we have, and this is a problem for the possible reactions we have. And you never have it in other industries, this kind of pressure from both sides.
A the question. My name is Annelies Baciu. I'm from Ziarul Financiar. I'd like to ask you, how did the bankruptcy of Astra and Carpatica impact the VIG strategy? Because now we are seeing that VIG is more willing to take MTPL risk.
We are never happy if there are bankruptcies in the insurance sector. That's not good for VIG and generally not good for the market. On the other hand, if you look at these very specific cases, I personally did not see another way because they simply were by far not able to pay out the claims anymore and to meet the regulations. And obviously, there was no investor ready and willing to invest more money. So I also see no other way than to stop these companies. Nevertheless, it's never good for insurance market if there are bankruptcy in the market. For VIG itself, of course, if you look at the years 11, 12, 13, at that time, I think roughly, yes, the average MTPL premium was 400, 500 RON. And that was mainly driven by the two companies you have named. And that's by far not a sufficient premium level. And if you look at the market, not many insurance companies were willing to take the risk. The major part went to Azirom. And imagine if Azirom would not have been willing to take this business. Who would take it? Nevertheless, I think it was the right decision of Azirom, as I've mentioned before, because now the premium levels, and if you look at the cross-selling potential out of this growth in Azirom, we have now a fair chance to make small profits out of it, but it's too early to say it because we will know it in 2-3 years because the duration of claims handling in MTPL is something like 5 to 7 years. So it's simply too early to say super, but it's also too early to say everything was wrong and was stupid. We still hope and cross fingers.
Dacă mai sunt întrebări?
Bună ziua, Gabriela Ținteanu de la economica.net. Poate e puțin deranjant. E vorba despre Asirom. Am înțeles că urmează să definitivați majorarea capitalului social. Veți reuși să acoperiți prin această majorare preconizată, anunțată deja, indicatorii de solvabilitate necesari pentru îndeplinirea cerințelor din Solvency 2, în condițiile în care Asirom a anunțat că va scădea primele RCA?
First of all, you're absolutely right. We did a capital increase. We had decisions on VIG level and on Azirom level some months ago. It was a capital increase of nearly 40 million euro. And the reason is, as you have mentioned, simply to meet Solvency II regulations. The second part of your question is the announcement of Azirom that they will decrease the premium. I have also heard about it. And there is, of course, a possibility to slightly decrease the premium if you are also able, and management is hard working for that, to increase the risks of the new contracts you receive, and that's the business model behind. You look.
Veți crește riscul pe model, veți crește riscul pe acest model de business sau pe modelul RCA? N-am înțeles foarte bine, poate n-a fost bună traducerea.
No. If you decrease premium and you decrease risks, you have the same level of profitability. So it makes okay? Welcome.
Dacă mai sunt întrebări?
I have another one. What are your plans regarding the life insurance market? Because you have both AXA, how you will integrate it?
Generally, life insurance is also key for us, and it's very important if you look at the sales structure that you have a strong bank channel for life insurance. That's the reason why we have this preferred partnership with BCRA Bank and BCRA Life Insurance Company. And I think within the next long-term perspective, 5 to 10 years, life will get more and more important. What's key for life is that you need a kind of strong middle class, which develops quite well in Romania, simply because people need income that they are able to spend the money for life premium, and especially to save for accident, for death, or even for the retirement period. If we look at the AXA deal, we did, I do not want to say a lot, but some deals with AXA in the past, and AXA wants to step out. We want to stay in the country, and that's the reason why I acquired the company. It's a client base of something like 20,000 people, and what we try is simply to use this client base for further business for BGR Life, but also for non-life business.
And when do you estimate that the integration will be finished? And
yeah, I hope, I'm not sure, but I hope that we get the closing end of this year, and afterwards we start with integration work. It will not last years, it will last months. So something like half a year, something like that. But don't nail me down if it's 8 months.
do you want to be number one also on the life insurance market?
Yes,
You
of
are
course.
very close
Yes,
last year.
yes. That's also
That's
our
your-
aim. Generally, we want to be number one everywhere. That's not so easy. At least we want to be among the top 3. But if we are now number one on the Romanian market, we want it to be in all segments, not only in non-life, also in life, yes.
And when do you estimate that you will be number one on life insurance?
But that's a good question, but sometimes I like estimations very much, but I want to see it at least till I'm retired, and I'm a little bit more than 50 years old now, so within the next 15 years.